Welcome to BISP Solutions. Today I am going to tell you about metadata analysis. So metadata are the account heads where the value of data is stored. While uploading metadata, we have to take care to give correct member properties for all the members in all the dimensions. So quickly we'll go to the application, and I will first tell you regarding the dimension member properties. Let's suppose I am taking the dimension account, and I am showing you one of the current asset member. Let's suppose I'm creating one child in the cash account. So here the properties, member properties, which is we have to take care while uploading the metadata. First is the name. It is the name of the member. Then it is description, which is optional. Then alias table, which is by default this is already chosen here. Then is the alias. We may write the description or the name or the detailed name of that member over here, or we may even leave it. It is optional. Then is the account type. If I click the drop down, so we have here expense, revenue, asset, liability, equity, and saved assumption. So expense is the cost incurred by a company to generate revenue, like travel expense, cost of sales. Then is revenue. This is the income received as a result of sale of goods or services. Next is asset. So asset is it is a resource that has economic value and from which the company expects to generate income over time, like inventory, fixed assets. Then we have liability. It is the legal debts and obligations that companies owe to third party due to the business operations, like accounts payable or accrued payrolls. Then equity. So this is capital. This is the value of ownership in a company, and it is equal to the amount of assets remaining after all debts are satisfied. Lastly, we have saved assumptions. This is non-financial items used by a company for statistical analysis and reporting purposes. For example, headcounts or square footage. Now that we have defined the account type, next is variance reporting. it is expense and non-expense. So an account variance reporting, it determines whether it is treated as an expense when used in member formulas. So if it is expense, the actual value is subtracted from the budgeted value to determine the variance. And if it is non-expense, the budgeted value is subtracted from the actual value. Then is the time balance property. It specifies how the system calculates the value of summary time periods. So flow means it aggregates of all values all together. Then first means it will take the first value there. Balance, it means it's going to take the ending value. Average, it will average out all the values given. Then we have exchange rate type. So you may see here it is no rate, average, ending, historical amount override, historical rate override. This indicates the translation option for the financial accounts. By default, the system uses average rate for flow accounts and ending rate for balance accounts. And these default settings can be changed. Next is we have to specify the source queue for the member, which is console. Next is data storage options. So here in store, the data, it stores data values of the members. If you choose the option store as data storage. Then is dynamic calc, it calculates data values of members. Then we have never share. So this ensures that stored parent member always store data from the aggregation of child members. Shared, it allows members in the same dimension to share data values. And last is label only. This displays the data of the first child member regardless of the aggregation setting of the children. Then we have two-pass calculation. You may select whether to calculate values of members based on values of parent members or other members. So according to that requirement, two-pass calculation is chosen. Then allow upper level entity input. So this specifies whether parent entity input is allowed for this account. Plan type. So this indicates the application type for which the member is valid. So we will choose console. And then we have to give how is this operator aggregating, whether it is aggregating. So we may give addition or subtraction. This depends on the account type of parent and child members. Then data type, we have to select the data type from here. They are given unspecified, currency, non-currency. So wherever we're going to have the figures, data, we're going to select currency. So all these member properties have to be defined correctly when we upload the metadata. Now what happens if any of the property is not given correctly? When we run the validation, we will get following metadata validation messages. The first one is primary members must exist before shared members. This is the first requirement which we have to keep in mind when creating or when uploading the metadata. So any shared members created before the primary members, system will give the error message. So to correct this, you have to delete the shared member and create it below the primary member. Then second, the data storage type. I have just explained to you all the data storage types, which must be valid for all base members. So for entity and movement dimension, it must be either store, never share, or shared. For count, data source, multi-gap, and any user created custom dimensions, the data storage type must be either store, never share, shared, or dynamic calc. Third is only members with the dynamic calc data storage should be set to 2-pass calculation. Members that are calculated on a second pass through the SBIS outline are called 2-pass calculations. It is used when value is derived from a calculated or parent value. So in this case, you will get a warning, not error. Fourth is the base members should not be dynamic calc without formulas. That is, if you have given the formula to the base members, see that the data storage property is dynamic. Fifth is parent members should not have member formulas. And this is because they are already having their parent members will be like dynamic, so the values from the base level members will be aggregating to the parent level already. The aggregation operator should be ignored or never if a member is a child of a dimension entity. In case of entity dimension, the aggregator operator should be ignored for both console cube and for rates cube. And for all other dimensions, the aggregation operator should be ignored or never for console cube and ignored for rates cube. Now account type and aggregation operators must match with the appropriate aggregation operator. The combination of parent account and child account type determines whether the aggregation operator should be addition or subtraction. This is to ensure that the balance sheet aggregates properly. So, if debit or credit sign is same for parent and child, then aggregation operator must be addition. However, if debit or credit is different for parent and child account, then the aggregation operator must be subtraction. Eighth point is children of parent with data storage as label only must not aggregate. This applies only to the account, data source and movement dimension. If we add a child under a parent with label only property, then console operator must be ignore or never share. All parent members in the multi-gap and custom dimension should be dynamic calc data storage. Now that I have listed out the validation messages, we will quickly go to the application and I will run. I have already loaded the metadata, so I will now validate it and show you how the error comes and how do we sort it out. In application, we will click overview. Then from actions, we will click validate metadata and I will run this. So you can see there are 12 errors here and one warning. Okay, so when we scroll account, we'll find these errors coming, and then when we drill down the entity, the following errors are coming. So I will export this first. Now these are the member names and this is the error description you can see here. So we will see in the account 22000 the account console operator should be addition based on parent and child account types. So let's go to the application and there we'll rectify these errors. We'll go to dimension. So this is the patents account, and here I will go to the properties. So the error says that the account console operator should be addition firstly, then there are other errors in the same account. The data storage is dynamic calc and a level 0 dynamic calc cannot be used within the balance sheet. Okay, so the first error is here. Since this is a base member, I have to make it either never share or store, and since the console aggregator should be addition, also the member formula here we have to share the data storage property. Now we have taken console operator as addition because it is one of the asset account and both are going to be debited, so the sign has to be addition, and then I will save this. Okay, now we will go and see this is cleared. I will and then we'll see the other account 10500. So here again data storage is incorrect, and the default data storage is not matching with the console cube data storage 10500. So I'll go and we'll search for 10500. And I will check the properties. The data storage is never shared. Let's see the member formula. Here the data storage is dynamic calc, so I have to change it to the same data storage what we have given to the what we have given in the member property. So now I will save this. Next is 41200. It says the data storage is dynamic calc and a level 0 dynamic calc cannot be used within the balance sheet. So base members cannot be dynamic calc. So we'll go to that account first. So now 41200 is sales commission, and when I go and see the properties, I find that the data storage is dynamic calc. We will go to member formula. Okay, so this is account where there should be some member formula associated, but since the formula is missing, the error is coming. So I'll put the formula. This is sales commission. We want to put the formula that sales commission is equal to 10% of the sales account. Let's validate the formula. So the member formula is valid. Now I will save this. So whenever any base member is associated with formula, you have to give data storage as dynamic calc, or else to resolve this I have to make this base member as never share. So I would have changed the storage property. Now FCCs underscore fixed asset. So there must be one member in this. So we haven't created any accounts. Under there is no account. So that's why this error is coming. So this is fine. This is okay. This error. Right now we don't have any account under that. We haven't created. So this error would be coming. Once the account is created under this head, the error will go away. Next is in equity. If you see, okay, this is warning in accounts. So we'll see. This warning is for 10010 and 2 pass calculation should only be used with dynamic calc. So let's see. So if you see, this is bank account and everything is correct, like never share, addition, this is all the properties are correct, but by mistake 2 pass calculation has been ticked, so it was giving the error. 2 pass calculation is always used whenever data storage is dynamic. So now I will save this. Then we will go to entity. Here C limited as well as B limited, the console operator should be ignored. So I will click on the properties, and here the console operator is ignored. Let's see where it is. And but in the member formula it is never share. This is also fine. Now we will check for B limited. This by mistake it was given addition. We will rectify it and change the console operators as ignore, and I will save this. Now I will refresh the database. I have done all the required rectifications. Now I am refreshing the database. Now I'm going back in application, and I'm validating the metadata again. So still 3 errors are there. Let's see what is that. So So as I said, there must be at least one member. So when we'll get that account, we're going to create it. Then the data storage is dynamic calc. A level 0 dynamic calc cannot be entered within the balance sheet. Okay, so although I had given the formula, it should not still come into the error. We will go in the dimension and see if there is any problem with the formula. This is 41200. So this is the sales commission account. So we have given the formula. So the formula says that we are calculating 41200 and that should be 10% of the sales account, which is the account number I have given here, and I will validate it once again. So the formula is valid. And I've checked the data storage. I'm keeping here right now dynamic calc because I had associated it with some formula. In case I delete this formula, if there is no formula, then this is supposed to be either store or never share. The data storage property would then will be never share or store. By doing this, after doing this, I am refreshing the database. And we will run the validation of metadata once again. So now we are left with only one error, and that is of the account member missing, which we may do when we get the metadata for that particular account. So this is how metadata analysis is done. Hope the topic was clear to you. For more videos, you may log on to our website www.bspsolutions.in.